Hey, Big Daddy. Hope everything's doing well. Okay, guys, here's the deal. I was fooling around with the, you can see me on the frame. I was fooling around with the mass airflow, not mass airflow, the airflow meter to adjust the air to fuel mixture and checking that by using a narrowband oxygen sensor hooked up to a voltmeter. And I noticed it was chronically running lean. I could actually move the air vane a little with my hand. I could adjust it to get it right at about half a volt, which my understanding is the range of the meter is 0 volts lean, 0.9 volts rich. Ideally, it should be about 0.45 volts or 403 millivolts. Anyway, what I decided to do, first of all, I want to demonstrate the O2 sensor, how that works. And second of all, I added a potentiometer into the temperature, the coolant sensor. What that allows me to do is I can reach that and basically fool the ECU into thinking that it's in a colder climate, therefore it should enrich in the mixture. So we're going to do that and see how that works. So let me show you the setup. There's the O2 sensor right here. It's a single wire sensor going down to a Simpson volt ohm meter. It's on a 2.5 scale, which is 2.5, so 1 volt is basically right here where it says 100, 50 would be 500, and then 0. So I'm trying to hit right around that 50 reading right there, which would be half a volt. So we'll start it up. I've got the potentiometer hooked in series with the temperature sensor for the ECU. So let's see, I've got it cranked so that, let's see, counterclockwise is maximum pass-through, so there's no added resistance. So cranking it clockwise should make the mixture run richer. We'll see how that works. Another way you can tell that if it's working well is typically the vacuum will improve as the mixture gets closer to ideal. So that's another thing. We'll watch the vacuum setting. We'll watch the meter for voltage, and you should also hear the engine run smoother. I mean, if everything's working right, that should be good. Oh, with respect to finding the air leaks, yes, I used a cigar and blew smoke into the intake manifold and found out that I had a couple loose bolts on the intake manifold and on the injectors, so I tightened those up. I also added a hose clamp here to try to seal that. I was getting leaks, smoke was coming out here and back in this area. So let's see if we got that fixed. I got to hook the vacuum meter up, otherwise I'll have a big air leak here. Hold on. Let me go ahead and hook this up too. That's where I was injecting the smoke. We should just start right up. I got the fuel already hooked up. Yada, yada, yada. You always have to triple check your work when you've done some changes. I don't know why I always make that racket. See if I can make it. First I'm going to manipulate this. That doesn't seem to be working right. Oh, you know, that has to heat up before it'll work. Right now it's in startup enrichment, so it's reading about 0.25 volts, which is still a little on the lean side, but as soon as it gets out of startup enrichment, which takes a minute or two, it'll go into the normal open loop settings, which I think is too lean. At least it was when I had the air leaks. Now that I've got the air leaks taken care of, maybe it won't be a problem. We'll monitor it and see. It's running better already, but again, it has to warm up. 0.5 volts is right, or it says 50. We're real close. It's running a little bit lean right now. That looks great. I'm going to add a little bit of enrichment by tricking it into thinking it's colder outside. have done more. Yeah, well, obviously, I'm getting too much. I expected that pot to have more of an effect than that. That's too rich. I expect that to have a bigger effect. Let it warm up a little bit more first. But the vacuum looks great. Actually, I think my air leaks were causing most of my problems, but it's running really good. I've got a really nice vacuum going there. And my voltmeter is reading right at about 0.25, so it's a little bit on the lean side. I'm going to try to again enrich it a little bit with just moving the flat. That doesn't seem to help it any. That's peculiar, because that was reading idle it up some. Bypass more air. A little bit rich. I just saw some fluid dropping somewhere. That's weird. Oh. I got a little bit of fluid leak around the thermostat now, so I'm going to deal with that in a little bit. Okay, here you can see me enriching it. It's running a pretty rich mixture right now. But as I crank the pot open, I'm going to throw it over the top. See it go up. Back down. Alright, well, back down to idle. Clearly my idle enrichment is a little bit on the rich side, which is probably a good thing. It's a nice smooth idle. I could probably lean it out by adjusting the idle bypass. Let me try that. Idle bypass resides right in that hole right there. You probably can't see where I'm pointing, but it's right there. I'm going to adjust that now, see what that does. I'm watching the meter. I got it closed all the way. I'm going to open it up. Bypass air. It should run leaner now. Add in a little bit of enrichment. Actually, the system's pretty much ordered right as it's supposed to. I shouldn't mess with it probably. There you go. Okay, I actually did tweak it a little bit. Watch what happens with the enrichment added. Watch the needle as I throttle up. That's with the enrichment added. Now I'm going to back it off, put it back to nothing. Now it's back on no enrichment added. See how it takes it out? So we're going to add a little bit in. A lot happier there. So for whatever reason, adding that little bit of extra resistance at 180 degrees, by the way, adding that extra little bit of resistance, by adding that extra little bit of resistance to the cool temp sensor, I get a much better reading on the using the oxygen sensor, and it sounds better too. And the vacuum is really, really strong right now. So I'm probably going to get that measurement, get a fixed resistor, put that in place, and run it like that. I could try tweaking the spring on the airflow meter inside here, but I kind of like the way that worked. It stayed rock solid as I was idling up, so that's a pretty good setting. And I'm running about 0.6 volts, so it's on the rich side, but that's okay. I mean, I'd rather have it run rich, especially since, remember, I plan on putting a turbo on this thing pretty soon. When I add the turbo to it, I definitely don't want to run lean. So that's where we are for now. I'm going to, as long as I'm here, I'm going to, why not do a coolant test, right? Let's do it. This fluid's already a little bit green, so I'm going to go see if I can't purify it. Stand by. Okay, nice and blue now. Right at 180. Pulling it back. No change. We're going at age 49. No change. So that other issue resolved. The vacuum is great. I'm at a solid like almost 20 inches of mercury right now. My narrowband oxygen sensor is reading about 5.2 volts. Should be 450, 0.45. I'm going to try leaning out just a hair. You can hear it a little burble. Put it back where it was. Check this. And that thing stays rock solid right there. I like that. Well, anyway, I mean, you know, that could even just be the variation in the sensor. And I don't know how old that sensor or how accurate it is. A new sensor might resolve that, like perhaps that sensor or the wiring of that sensor actually it's the opposite direction. Maybe that sensor is not outputting the correct resistance for the water temp. Whatever. That seems to be fixing it perfect. I love that option. I love that solid idle. I love that nice vacuum. Great motor. It's good and no head gasket. I do have a little bit of a thermostat leak, so I have to deal with that. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Not sure if it's coming from the top of the gasket. Well, I don't know. It could even be coming from this one right. Once I screwed into it, not firmly enough. And you'll also notice this is really handy. Oh, let's confirm that this stuff works, right? Right? Let's check it out. Here we go. I'm going to take this, do a little sniff down here. You see what happens when it sees exhaust gas. Anyway. Shut it down here. 180. That's inside the garage. Maybe 185. Inside the garage. Not good airflow over this radiator. It's flowing, but it's not